Okay, my people, welcome back now. Now, as we go on now, let's continue with our story. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Let's go on.
My soon-to-be ex-husband, 31M, had an emotional affair with someone much younger, 18F. Now 19, when I was pregnant. First he said it was just a super intense connection/friendship and why should he stop talking to her. I had panic attacks at 6mo pregnant but he refused to stop talking to her. He even snuck out to see her one night because she was crying hysterically and freaking out about losing him. I was terrified of being alone and raising our son as a single parent, so I didn't push the issue, even though he knew I was a mess and I was losing weight and unable to sleep or go more than a few hours without crying. Then he told me that he's always wanted an open marriage, to have sex with other people, because I was the only person he had ever slept with and he was such a physical/sexual person and it didn't make sense that
Normally now, if na a case of where you marry your high school or whatever sweetheart, and fortunately for you, the lady will be your first love. The lady happens to be your first love, meaning that she is the only one. At some point, you go like to exercise other areas. Now, waiting happened to my man after being with the wife for so long. He can't look himself say, "Oh, I find shall. Why you say that only one woman why I don't try before? I never experienced break heart from another woman. I never experienced all those things. All those things come, but they make men know they like to talk about them, but they feel like the more they have women, the more number they have on their side make them more superior. Well, the ladies think for the ladies, the more number they have, the more ashamed they become. But for my guy, he just believes saying only one woman he don't have, so he want to exercise his options by having an open marriage. Let's see as they go now.
That he had only ever had sex with me. We've been together for 11 years, married for 2, and he never mentioned anything like that ever, and also never told me I was the only person he had been with. I told him that didn't matter to me, but he was so ashamed. Granted, I never said no to anything he wanted to try and we had an amazing sex life. He said that he wanted to be physical with this girl, he couldn't get it out of his head and needed to do it before our son was born. And also that that's how he wanted our relationship to be going forward. He promised he loved me and would always make me his priority, that he wouldn't fall in love with anyone else, that it was just sex. I begged him for it not to be with her, but he said that I didn't have a choice.
Going through with the story, we already hear say the guy na one kind possessive and one crazy guy. You won't do this kind of thing, but you tell your wife say, see what I want to do, I want wrong with another woman, but not only you now I love her, but I won't follow another woman to talk. And your wife get my shot, they beg you say me no do, I'm say when they won't get picking, but you won't feel like just born me do one thing. You will be the man they follow 19-year-old girl. You don't feel like say may I just follow her now because she may give you better style or give you better rhythm, but well past the one your woman feel give you. But let's continue, Shah. Let's see as they go.
Choice, he was going to do it regardless. And that he wouldn't be the one to end things, but if I said I wanted out he wouldn't stand in my way. So I acquiesced. He didn't sleep with her then, but did everything but sex. I was 8mo pregnant at that point. I even considered, moving forward, letting him continue to have an open marriage. We talked about ground rules and everything. I said that once a year on his birthday I'd let him hire a really classy escort. If it was all about sex, that should be fine, no?
The one thing about this open marriage thing, we say, once when I start them, it never the end. It never really the end, and one of you must catch feelings. One of you self he no get that 100% liver to continue with it. The lady say, as now the waiting the man want to, because say he want the man and he want make the relationship last. Okay, for him birthday, he go carry up a very classy obo ashawo conge and say, "I will make this one service you." But the man still no gree. If you like, maybe you carry the whole obo day online. Yeah. Person wey want the outside, want the outside. Nothing will go satisfy because he never experienced that one before. As he don't talk say na one woman he don't follow. As he don't test another woman say, see this one be like say the one get it more. He won't test everything. But where would they go now? Where would they say as they go? They can't let say your wife get belle, one born for him. You know even send that oneself. Let's continue.
Fine, no. Realizing now how little self-respect I had for myself and how wrapped up I was in being with him, how I'd do anything to keep him but he wouldn't do anything for me. Once our son was born in July, I could feel him pulling away and confronted him again and asked him if he was in love with her and he said yes. He was so cold and distant to me at home, we barely spoke. But he would parade me out with friends and act like everything was fine when it wasn't and I was dying inside. I cried every single day. He broke down too and said he was so sorry and he didn't understand how this happened, but he was in love with both of us and couldn't make a decision about what he wanted.
Normally now, at this point, you don't even know the difference between love and lust. The woman where you don't date with almost 11 years, now you compare with somebody you just met, because the person they give you the, if you like say the girl they give him attention, past the one where the wife they give him, and because say the wife get belly, the wife no fit dey that shape where she did before now. In con say okay, ma losing this small girl self, after all my wife the belly don't make her move. I be because the wife they submissive, they follow the talk, and you get some women wey be still as they talk and self, ain't go begin change her for you, but the woman does stay submissive, they follow the talk and small. Now my guy they misbehave up and down. Say they look the wife for face and say, I love you, Sha, but I love the other woman, but I just they confused on how what I would do. It they happen, Sha, but let's continue.
Wanted. And I'm thinking WTF, she's a child and we have a whole beautiful life together and you're willing to throw it away. It was like I meant nothing to him, like I wasn't good enough. I have never been so broken and completely traumatized. In October we took a few weeks apart so he could figure himself out and so I could find some peace. I moved into my parents' house with our 9-WK-old son and did everything. Less than a week after I left, my husband slept with her. I found out after the fact. The day after he slept with her, he and I FaceTimed so I could virtually tour a daycare facility close to our home and he acted like everything was totally normal. I actually felt really positive after the call because it seemed like he missed me and had rethought things. When I got back home with the baby, he barely acknowledged that he missed me. I had to ask him. It was super awkward, and that night we were intimate with each other but I completely broke down because nothing had actually been addressed. I still didn't know who he wanted to be with or if we were going to split up. I felt so dirty and used. Only later did I find out he slept with the girl when I was gone and then I just felt so disgusting and manipulated. A few days later we talked about everything. This is when I found out he slept with her, and made the mutual decision to divorce. Then he had a complete breakdown, saying it didn't feel right, that he didn't want to lose everything we had, so I agreed to give him one more chance.
Now what for this woman? The guy don't make he don't make up say in the look you and the look the girl say no which one to follow. But now you don't tend to say me una kuku divorce, but even when they say no, you don't want to lose everything. You know the possible. You know go feel just person wey hold person for ground self dey for ground. You just live and go, live your life because this life of freedom it comes with loneliness. If you won't go that level, you go there sure you go still dey lonely because that person that girl wey dey follow and dey talk still go get one small bubble wey go dey follow and talk. Normally now if you no parade them. the way they parade your wife. You go just they do them, they hide, they do them. They satisfying. But you just because of the knacking and the way the girl they give you just use because of those things risk the whole family. Let's continue, Sha.
Chance. We said we'd separate for the rest of the year and then see how we felt. So I moved to my parents' little cottage in NH and have been there since. 3 days into our new separation and I knew it wasn't gonna work. We had a couples counseling session and he was still very cold and said he didn't know if he wanted to save our marriage. Then he went 6 weeks without even checking in on our son. Mid-December we FaceTimed again and I told him I was done and he agreed. Said he still didn't know what he wanted, but that he would advocate for himself and wanted to be in our son's life. I said you have shown no interest, WTF, and he said he was trying to respect my privacy and that it was so hard to reach out and talk to me when he was feeling so bad about everything. I told him to inquire about our son whenever he wanted to, and to let me tell him when I was uncomfortable or when it was too much for me. So now, we lived together in New York and it's insanely expensive to hire lawyers, so we're going to use a mediator for the divorce. What I really want is to hire the most intense lawyer possible and have a judge take everything away from him. I just don't have the money. I'm trying to get my life back on track.
The way this case go. If this lady mistakenly get better lawyer, the man he go collect your SIM card, he go collect everything, collect your belt, collect your tie. Because the whole thing, the way you take them down, the way they talk, you just 1 day alone. You go pay for the lady life, pay for your children life, for the son life. Now the whole thing, I just pray say the whole thing work out, Sha. But if this woman mistakenly get better lawyer, now your SIM card go remain and be your work clothes go there because he go sue your boss herself. Let's continue, Sha.
On track. Ultimately I will be moving to the greater Boston area where my parents live so I can be close to them for support, and 3 hours away from my husband. I've been applying to jobs and looking for a place to live and daycare for my son. So I need money and can't spend it all on a lawyer. But I never want to see my husband again.